3.195, ladies and gentlemen. He just ripped off a 3.197. 233.14 in a mile an hour. How about Evan Kinsley?
Oh, hell yeah! That's what I'm talking about, people. Do some serious next level wrenching. Nitro methane. V8 consumes 1 gallon per second. Oh, hell yes! That shit gets me jacked, son! What's up, Nitro Nation? Welcome all Muggy Maniacs, Truggy Maniacs, like this sick-ass arsenal of whips I have. Which, by the way, Muggy's about ready to pull a trigger. I don't know. You guys know that I've been looking for a buggy for a while. Very anal, very OCD about all my shit. You guys know that. So when I'm picking a truggy or a buggy, last time I couldn't decide. The last two whips that I bought, my Techno and my Mugen. So I bought, I think one of them, they were a week apart. I think I bought the Techno first, and then I bought the Mugen afterwards, within a week. So I'm looking at, you know, Techno used buggies. There's you can find pretty good deals on them, but still the racing season's not over yet. There's still a little bit of racing left, and as soon as 8-scale nitro racing is, or RC racing is over with, you're going to see eBay flooded with a lot of used vehicles. From what I hear, and don't quote me on this, Mugen is coming out with an MBX9 buggy, which unfortunately the truggy won't be out till later. You know how that goes. They always release the buggy, and then it takes a little bit longer than they release the truggy. And it's basically the same thing. If you know anything about 8-scale nitro, truggies and buggies are almost identical, just different width and length. It's the only difference between a, say, this Techno NT 48.3 and a Techno NB 48.3. The only difference is the length of the chassis. Truggy's longer than buggy, and the width. Pretty much, for the most part, everything else is identical. Let me turn this damn fan off. We are, by the way, on my new phone camera. Let's see how this thing comes out. But anyway, shout out to all Muggy, Buggy, Truggy, even Monster Truck guys. You guys like your Monster Truck, to each his own. If you got that Primal Monster Truck, now that's a real Monster Truck. That's the only Monster Truck that I would really ever own. I mean, this isn't really even a monster truck, this, even though this is a fat pig. I call it my Muggy. It originally was called a stadium truck. It's basically, if you look at it, this pig here is a truggy on steroids. Because if you look at that one, and then you look at this, or you look at my Mugen, this sick-ass whip here, you know, I mean, that's obviously a truggy. And then you look at this thing is just a fat little pig. But I love my pig. But anyway, and also welcome all Fiz-Scale Insaniacs. Guys are doing big things, a lot of drag racing. That's almost to be over. Drag racing, I guess, is going to be over pretty soon. But anyway, welcome. Newbies, middies, oldie but goodies. Old farts like the Muggy. So anyway, I grew up around a lot of drag racing, but primarily my dad used to take me to a lot of the NDBA. It stands for National Drag Boat Association. He is in the, my stepdad is in ND, what's it called? I think it's national, he has a, a drag. His drag boat is a blown alcohol, so it's not blown fuel. But I don't know what I do. I have a hat that somewhere. Oh yeah, this is my dad's boat. It's called the Cardiac Arrest. That's the number 108. My mom gave me and my stepbrothers. They're you know, I have 2 other stepbrothers. We all the boys in the got hats for the family's boat. My dad's boat is a blown alcohol. And in his class, he's running, you know, 1,000 horsepower because his boat isn't capsuled, which means it doesn't have an enclosed capsule on it. Like most of those boats now, they're all encapsulated because the horsepowers and the speeds got crazy. I mean, when I was young growing up, those things, you know, 30-something years ago were doing, you know, they were doing quarter miles and, you know, maybe, I don't know what the quarter miles were, but I know the top speeds they were doing around a little bit over 200. Now they're pushing like 250. So they've increased by 40, 50 miles an hour. But, like I said, my dad's boat is a blown alcohol flat bottom. Okay, those are hydros that you just watched. They're called blown fuel hydros. They're running on blown fuel, nitromethane. Okay, when you don't have a capsule, you can go 1,000 horsepower and that's it. My dad was running 8, 9 something. He just upped another 200 horsepower, or yeah, he's right around 1,000 now because he went from dual 1050 pumper Holley carburetors on top of the blower to straight injection. And when you go straight injection, you obviously, I mean, it increases the power. So you're running the injectors straight off the blower. It's a 671 blower. Those of you that are familiar with engines and those of you gearheads out there, you know what I'm talking about. Those of you that aren't, well, there's plenty of videos on it. Let me educate you for a second. But anyway, so now he's around 1,000 horsepower. But once you get over 1,000 horsepower, then you have to have, the boat has to be encapsuled. Because it's, you know, it's safety purposes. It's just the rules. So anyway, those right there, I used to grow up watching those when I was little. My dad used to take me to drag boat races. I went to a lot of NHR, National Hot Rod Association, you know, the drag funny cars and shit like that. But I grew up a lot around boats because we used to have one, not like a racing boat, but we used to have a ski boat, family boat. You know, it had a 454 Chevy in it. It was a jet, which a jet is, you know, has the water that sucks the water up, spits it out, and that's how it runs. Unlike those are running off, you know, straight V drive, which means the motor faces like backwards. So the shaft goes forward and then it comes in a V outward into the prop. Now when I was watching them, they were running single props and they were, you know, flying. Now they're running dual props. So they've got dual props in those boats now. It's just crazy. You see those things. I mean, it's the blown fuel hydros have around the same horsepower roughly as a top fuel funny car, but the big difference is obviously it's in a giant piece of wood on the water hauling ass. 2 propellers are churning that thing to make that boat go that fast. To where a funny car, you've got 2 tires, you're on the ground. It's a lot different. But anyway. I miss that. We used to go all the time. My dad is getting ready, and my brother there's a race. I think it's in Arizona because they do a lot of them I think it's Firebird Lake in Arizona. They have a facility built by Lucas Oils where it's all for drag boat racing, different because there's different classes. So that's happening this weekend. My mom, I don't know if she's going. My mom usually goes, but I don't know if she's going to go. Oh, by the way, speaking of my mom, check this out. I finished the fireplace. Pretty cool, huh? It wasn't too hard to put together. You know, it is a heater. So basically it's remote control. You turn the switch on and the heat comes out of here. And then this lights up. I think let me show you guys. Hold on a second. Show you guys what it looks like. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's not I told my mom, I said, hey Mom, maybe I should keep this thing for because it's starting to get a little chilly here in SoCal. Nothing like you guys are going to get. You know, as Southern Californians, we're spoiled. We get a little bit of cool weather and we start crying. You know, if we get a little bit of rain, you know, we start bitching and complaining. When you guys back east get pounded. Where's the thing that goes with that? But it's pretty cool. Lights up. So anyway, I know you won't get this video I'm doing this video, it's Tuesday, 9 o'clock. I really wasn't going to do any uploading of any videos until like later this week. I've been running the Techno and the RCR modified LRP .32. And you know, even the 32 modded stock doesn't matter. It just doesn't impress me. Okay, so there it is. Pretty cool, huh? And then you can turn the heater on up here. Oh, that thing. Oh yeah, that thing blows out hot air. But it's pretty cool, you know. It's supposed to emulate a real fireplace. You know, it wasn't too hard to put together. This whole unit here kind of goes from the back inside. You had to put the wood. I mean, it's nice cherry wood, you know. I told my mom, I go, hey, this would be cool. I would take one of these. But she got me that one right there. If you see that one right there, my mom got me that one. That one was actually more expensive. I think she got that at Walmart. It was like $200 or Sam's Club. This one was like $160 or something. She said, I forgot what it was. But anyway, I'll be seeing her in a few days. She's going to pick it up on Thursday, and I'll probably go out to lunch with my moms. So I love my mother, as you guys know. The Muggy loves his mom to pieces. She always says, I love you, son, to the moon. That's my mom's thing. But anyway, yes, I am a mama's boy. But don't get it twisted. I ain't no softie. I will whoop that ass. I'll open up a can of whoop ass on somebody. Especially if you even say anything about my mom. I will come find you and beat that ass. Alright, so don't get it twisted, son. So anyway, put that together for her. She's going to be all stoked. Because my dad really can't do it. His back's kind of messed up. And I don't even know how he's going to the boat races this weekend. He's not supposed to be really doing that much. But you can't tell my dad. Can't tell my dad squat. But, you know, he's going to do what he's got to do. He's got to do what he's got to do. So, you know, he's put a lot of money into that boat, man. And, you know, so. But anyway, so I love that top fuel. Anything with, like I said, this channel is only nitro. There will never be an E word up in this cave. Period. End of story. No drone, no nothing. The only E word that's in here is electronics. What that we need to run our shit. Excuse my language. Batteries, receivers, servos, you know, bump boxes, you know, heat guns, you know, temp guns, head warmers. That's the only E word that's going to be up in this cave. Because this channel is this here, people. Nitro only. Don't get it twisted, son. See this? Pistons only, people. Only stuff that's got pistons. Okay? Alright? So, you know, there ain't no E word. So, you know, if you're looking for, you know, something other than nitro, then, you know, you might want to keep scrolling or go to the next channel. Now, as I said before, if there's anybody out there that's subscribed to me and I never subscribed to them, let me know. You know, like I said, usually anybody that subscribes to me, even if you don't have a channel, I'll subscribe to you and put you on the bell thing, so I know, you know, when you do get your channel going, or whenever you get it going, or whatever, you know, I'll tune in and watch your stuff, see what's up. I believe in supporting my subscribers. You know, you scratch my back, I scratch your back. It's all fair trade. So anyway, yeah, this is only nitro, man. There's only going to be pistons and fire and breathing real stuff in here. So as I was saying, I've been running this. Okay, just got done running it, you know, a couple days ago. Ran it again today. I haven't been doing much filming because I'm still trying to figure out this new phone. So I think I've got it down. So I might get a video to you guys, a running video, either of this or the Mugen again. That Mugen with that 28.8 Rex Legend, modded by RCR Lance. That is the nastiest motor I have right now. And like I said, I'm going to run it and I'm going to show you guys, okay? I'm going to maybe do another video of this, or maybe not. Since I already have a video of this, maybe I might just pull this motor out, okay? Throw the RB modded Novarosi 28.8 Rex Legend right here, okay? Throw this baby inside the Mugen MBX7 RT race truggy, okay? Throw this motor in here, same clutch, same pipe, 9886 Novarosi, which is what's in there. Alright, same everything, because I don't want people, you know, oh, well, how do you know, because this is, you know, I'm not changing nothing. Lance even said that, hey, if you're going to compare my shit to Rick's, so people don't say anything, there's no discrepancy, run it with the same pipe, same clutch, same vehicle, everything. So maybe that's what I'll do. After I get done running the Techno, we'll throw the RB modded one in there, set it up the exact same way that the RCR one is set up, and we'll compare. We'll do a running video. If anything, Rick stuff should be running a lot stronger because it's got already 2 gallons through it, roughly. This thing doesn't have anything, I mean, doesn't have not even a half gallon through it. And as you guys should know, and I told you guys before, these motors get stronger and stronger and stronger. So the next time I rip this thing's really going to be nasty. This thing will continue to be, you guys are probably saying, dang, Muggy, this thing was already nasty. This thing was already the business. It was already getting sideways, pulling the front end up. Brah, this thing was just standing up. Okay? How can it get any nastier? I don't know. Maybe it might do some more backflips. This thing does backflips and shit. I don't need no jumps. This thing jumps off the ground. So yeah, like I said before, I mean the jumping thing, we're gonna get to that. We are still on the quest for wetlands. Don't think that I haven't forgot about that. I know I keep, you know, mentioning it, but you know, my friend just he keeps flaking out. You know what I mean? And it's not really him flaking out. I shouldn't say that. He's just real busy. So I said, hey, don't worry about it. Maybe whenever we go, we go. You know? Matter now, I regret that I went there that one time and I didn't even bring anything. I didn't bring no whips because we went from the Rob's RC shop. Maybe when we go to Rob's RC shop, because I'm going to be going there, I think Friday this week, because I need to go down and stock up on some more Byron's fuel. Now I'm paying $40, almost $40 for a gallon of Byron's fuel. I don't mind. You know what I mean? Long as I can get Byron's fuel, even though it's $40 a gallon, man, it works for me. It's been working for a lot of people. You know, I know somebody personally that runs Byron's fuel and has been running it, 10 gallons of it through an LRP .32 modified and a 28.8 Rex Legend modified that he beat the snot out of. And those motors have only seen Byron's, and they're still running fresh. So if you've got any other kind of fuel that you're using, and you've ran that much fuel through it, and you can tell me that, listen, man, I run this fuel, and I've run this many gallons through it, and my shit is still got mad pinch, then I'll change fuels. But until then, if you can't have any proof of that, then why would I change when somebody told me, and somebody that I know, not just told me, that has proven that Byron's, after 10 gallons of it through a motor that you beat the hell out of, is still on point. I don't care if the fuel's cheaper or not. So, the proof's already there. That's good enough for me. You know what I'm saying? It's you know, and I'm not trying to say, you know, whatever fuel you use is your prerogative. So, you know, I'm not changing it. If it ain't broke, why should I fix it? You know, Byron's isn't that expensive to me. You know, so I mean that's one of the most important things. I'm looking at the long haul. So unless you have a fuel that you're using and you can prove to me that you've ran that much fuel through your motor and beat the shit out of it, excuse my language, then I'll switch. Until then, I'm sticking with Byron's. Until somebody can come up with the proof that the fuel that they're using after 10 gallons of it, you know, their motors, and they beat the hell out of them running that fuel, their motors are still on point. John Bodegel he has that proof. That's why You know, and that's one of the reasons, not the only reason, but one of the reasons I use Byron's, and I've never changed it. And there's been times where I thought about changing it, because yes, it is expensive, or it can be expensive depending where you're at. But you know what? I don't care. That's something that I won't cut corners on, is fuel. Now I know that, you know, and people have said there's other fuel out there that I mean, where's the proof that it's as good? How do you know it's as good? Do you know somebody that has 10 gallons of fuel run through a motor that they beat the shit out of, and that motor is still, like, fresh? If you don't, then why would I switch? John Bodegel has proof that by running a Byron's, 10 gallons later, beating the hell out of a motor, that fuel is badass. So, like I said, if somebody can come up with some evidence or prove to me that they have a fuel that they ran more than a few gallons through, and they beat the hell out of their motor, then I'll switch. Until then, I ain't switching. So, you know, and I like Byron's because it's easy for me to tune. Doesn't have any problems with any of my motors with it. Never had any kind of deposits with it. Never. So, anyway. But that's to each his own. Whatever fuel that you like, whatever fuel that you can afford. If you can afford something cheaper that works for you, then that's fine. This is the way I am. That's proof. Proof is in the pudding. There's just so many people saying this and saying that, and so much. And me and Lance talked for about an hour today. Okay, by the way, I did talk to Lance because I had some questions that I wanted to ask him. You know, I was asking about my LRP .32. But anyway, you know, he was just saying there's so many false information, you know. I mean, that's why I go to a guy that has 20 years plus experience building, modifying, designing nitro engines. Like Lance, like Rick. Okay, now, this gets me to the main reason that I even made this video, is because a lot of people have been hitting me up on the question. Remember when I found out of by the way, the Muggy was, and this is where I'll toot my horn, and I have proof of this too. You guys can go check the videos. I was the first one, well actually Rick Brake was the first one to break the story at RB Mods about the problems with LRP, the .32, when he was running into the porting problems. Now, I am connected with him on social media, Facebook, and that's when I got wind of it, and I uploaded a video right away. Even though Mr. Za uploaded a video right after I did, because, you know, and I get it. He, being who he is, he couldn't have somebody like me, some scrub in YouTube, breaking the news before him. Even though if you go look at that video that he did, and you look at the one that I did, mine was uploaded before he did. You know? That's a fact. Proof. I have proof of that. So anyway, when Rick told me about that, he also mentioned that the plug was a little bit too far in. Now, I talked to Lance today. He said, okay, listen, the plug, if it's a little bit too far in, it's not really going to affect the motor. Okay? It will never, ever, ever hit the piston. And here, let me show you this so you guys know, because people are kind of confused. Now, Lance said you can go ahead and run the 2 washers if you want, but you risk an air leak. You risk by running 2 washers. It's kind of the same thing when John used to tell us to run the Novorossi carburetor. Remember that you can run the Novorossi carburetor without milling it, but you got to put 2 washers. Well, you can do that, but there's more. Like even John said, there's more of a chance that you could get a slight air leak. Okay, so Lance was telling the same thing. You can run the 2 washers if you want. Okay. But there's a better chance that you're going to have an air leak by running 2 washers. So you do what you want to do. Okay? Now, and I'm showing you a picture. This is a top head of a Hyper 21, which I have 2 of them, you guys know. This is called the button head. Alright? You guys can see that, right? Okay, this part right here is called the firing chamber in the center. That's where, or the combustion chamber, whatever you want to call it. I call it the fire chamber. That's what Rick calls it. That chamber is where the plug sits in there. Now, if you look at that, unless that plug sticks that's about 5 millimeters. Unless that plug sticks out over 5 millimeters, that's the only way that the piston, here's the piston, is going to hit. Because when the piston comes up, and it doesn't even touch the top, when the piston comes up to the top of your button head, can you guys see that? When it comes up to the top of your button head, it's hitting this round part here. Or if it does, it doesn't even hit this. But it's coming up close to that. So there is no way in hell that that piston will ever hit the plug unless the plug sticks in 5 millimeters, which it doesn't. See that indentation? See that little conical? That's where your plug is. Now the plug is no way it's going to sit all the way in, all the way past that chamber. Just, it's not. So, and I had a lot of people ask me the question. That indentation that you see on the top of the LRP .32s, that is the way they come. Okay? Because when they're doing the mold, the machining or whatever, it's called like it's like a dimple. That's all it is a dimple. Okay? And I thought the same thing. I told Lance, I said, hey, my plug, my piston has a little dot on the top. He goes, that's just from the machining. That's not. He goes, there's no way that the plug can hit the piston unless the plug sticks in 5 millimeters past that chamber. Because see this round part here? That's where the piston is coming close to. See, here's the piston. When it comes up to the top of the firing chamber, there's where, that's why it's the same size as that. This is a .21, but it's the same shit. Okay, plug's in there. Unless that plug is sticking in 5 millimeters, it's not hitting your piston. So anyway, you guys do what you want to do. There's the proof. If you think that your plug is going to hit that, it's not. But, like I said, you can run a single washer, a double washer, whatever. The plug sitting in a little bit too far is not going to hit the piston, and it's not really going to affect anything. You know, if anything, remember, when you take shims in or out, when you put shims in your motor, like the more shims you have, the more top end you're going to get, less bottom end. You're going to get a little bit better run time as far as fuel mileage, and you're also going to get, the motor will run a little bit cooler. When you take shims out, 1, 2, 3, whatever, you're lowering the head down and you're changing the compression. And sometimes when the motors, because of the way they're timed, it's all timing, okay, you might mess up the timing. You're definitely, when you take a shim out or add a shim in, do any shimming, you're gonna change everything. You're gonna have to retune the whole motor again. Okay, so don't forget about that. Now I took a shim out of these. These come with 3 .20 millimeter shims in them, the LRP .32s. I took one out, ran it. This thing has enough bottom and mid, so I put it back in. I'm running 3 shims in it, the ones that came with it, because this thing needs more top end. It doesn't have a lot of top end. Okay. So I put the 3 shims back in. Lance said you're probably better off running it with 3 shims compared to taking 2 out, because this thing really doesn't need any more bottom or mid. So, you know, and I know Rick mentions on certain motors to take a shim out after it's been broken in, but he's talking it after you modify it, okay? So anyway, because he told me that when I got my motors back, he told me on my Pico, my Nova, and my Reds that I can take a shim out after, you know, I broke them back in or whatever. But I'm you know, that's another tuning option. If you don't really know a lot about shims and tuning them, you're going to have to mess with them to get it. The only motor that I've really spent a lot of time doing the shimming on, and that's where I got good at shimming, was the Reds. This Reds is dialed in. It has a 056 millimeter shim in it. I shimmed down, I shimmed up, I messed around a lot with this. It's perfect, man. Plenty of bottom end, mid, top end. Fuel mileage is really good. Temperatures are pretty decent. So, and that's what that's what I like. That's what I want on my motors. You know, you do whatever you want. So anyway, I don't want people, because people have been asking me, because yes, that's what I was told by, you know, when that happened about the LRP 32s, that, you know, hey, the glow plug, well, it's not even a turbo plug. Those don't have turbo plugs, but the glow plug that sticks in, it sticks in a little bit farther than flush. So like I said, I talked to Lance about an hour about that, and he said, you know, there's no way that piston, it can't. Because of the conical that's in the combustion chamber, there's no way the piston doesn't go inside of there anyway. So anyway, so that's just in case anybody was confused. Muggy wants to unconfuse some people, so I don't want people, you know, hey Muggy, you told me this and then you told me that. Listen, I talked to him for about an hour. He's a really cool guy. If you ever have any questions, you can call Lance, man. He'll shoot the shit with you, you know. But anyway, so that's the deal. So I got 3 shims running in here. I'm going to run it again. Got the clunker fixed. Clunker deal here. Got that sucker. And if you can, it's hard. I suggest putting, I don't know if you can see it in there, but I put a zip tie inside of there. So that won't come off anymore. Highly suggest it. I don't know why they pop off. Maybe just because eventually the hose expands from the nitro fuel. That's why I tell you guys, whenever you're done running your vehicle, do not leave any fuel in anywhere, because that nitro fuel turns into water and it jacks stuff up. I take it out of my pipe. I clean when I'm done running. Every time I clean my motor out, get all the fuel out of it, you know, by putting it on, taking the plug out, putting on the bump box, on my bump box, and blop 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 blop, kind of cycle the fuel out of it. Then I take my muggy juice, put some drops in there, seal it back up, put the muggy juice, a couple of them in my carburetor. Fuel lines, fuel tank, pipe, clean them out completely. Get all the fuel out of there. I use rubbing alcohol because it's very inexpensive. It evaporates, it doesn't leave any kind of residue. So that's just my suggestion. You guys do what you want. I don't want to leave fuel in any of these lines, in in my tank or in my pipe. Because like I said, all that stuff turns to water, and water is not your motor or friend of anything on these vehicles. No water, no bueno, okay? Just like heat is your motor's best friend. But also heat is your electronics and your servo and your receiver. It's your worst enemy. You know, again, like I told you guys, I run the aluminum on the inside of my tank. I need to redo this one. I run the aluminum on the inside of the tank to keep it from melting. And if you guys see down in there, see where I'm pointing the screwdriver? Can you see over there? I run the same aluminum here on the inside of my whole radio box. My whole radio box on the Techno has aluminum strip all on the inside, because I don't want any heat affecting my servos, my receiver, nothing. Even though the motor is only right here, I especially made sure that I put in here, because I don't want your servos get affected. Okay, don't forget this. They get affected by heat and they get affected by vibration. Okay, so anyway, that's what I do on that. And if you have, like my Mugen, I definitely do that back here. The Mugen, matter of fact, I have it a piece of aluminum on the inside of here with some kind of foam in here, and I have it on the inside, the outside of the box, and I have it lined up in here. So I'm lining my boxes with aluminum, and don't worry about interference. You're not going to get interference from an aluminum. If that was the case, they wouldn't make servos out of aluminum. Right? Okay. So anyway, that's just a little suggestion, helpful hint, tip, whatever you want to call it, from the Muggy. So anyway, that's pretty much it. Now, another thing too, the XTM, as I took it apart, because I was running the Pico in it, and I noticed something was like the gear was slipping. Well, what has happened is, because this has a one-way bearing on it, because it doesn't have a center diff, it has this 2-speed in it. Well, you know, on one-way bearings, it's supposed to turn one way and grab another. Well, it sometimes turns, like it should turn clockwise, and then when you go counterclockwise, it should grab. Well, when I go to do it counterclockwise, it doesn't grab. It grabs and then it breaks loose, and so one-way bearings shot out on this thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to either get, unfortunately, the one-way bearings on these things, it's this whole, I don't know, you guys can't see this, but this whole aluminum piece in here, you can't just take the one-way bearing out of it. You need to replace the whole thing. It's built into this, which sucks. So I'm going to have to try to hunt down. I think I found one. It's like 15 bucks, 20 bucks. Change that so I can still run this singly. You know, I really want to run a 2-speed on this thing, but I just have a hard time finding 2-speed clutch bells that hold up with any big motor in it. I mean, even the Rover OC 28.8 Rex Legend, man, is just wreaked havoc in this vehicle. Just the center diff and the gears, the diff boxes on this thing are okay. But the center diff on this thing, it doesn't have a center diff, and they have a center diff. I think I might just try to do that. I'm just going to put the Muggy, I don't care. I mean, I care, but I don't really need to run this that often, even though I did want to run it. With the Pico, I'm just going to pull the Pico out of here. And eventually, when I get done running this, I'm going to put the Pico back in the Techno. I like the Pico in the Techno. I'm going to leave the 28.8 Rex Legend in the Mugen, or I might take the Pico and I might shove it in the you know, Mugen NBX Prospect, NBX5 over there, my buggy. Just, you know, like I was telling Lance, I'm just not impressed by the LRP .32. Stock, modded, compared to that modified 28.8 that Lance did, I told him that I think that Rex Legend that he modified will spank this thing's ass. Now, he said on the dyno, like I said, he said on the dyno, it shows that the LRP has more bottom and mid, but the Novarosi has more top end, the 28.8. But he also said, too, because I was telling him the 28.8 just seems a lot more torquey. This thing is not real torquey to me. He goes, it's a different power. He said the bottom end of the 28.8 Rex Legend is more of a abrupt, violent bottom end, to where this is a little bit smoother bottom end. It's a smooth, powerful bottom and mid. And I said, I'm not looking for a smooth shit. I like my shit abrupt. I like my bottom end, mid, violent. I like my shit violent. I ain't racing, so I'm not looking for no smooth nothing. You know what I'm saying? If I was racing, that's different. You obviously want a smooth power transition when you're racing. So, anyway, that's pretty much it. Just wanted to share that thing with you. Yeah, so your piston is not gonna, you know, it's not gonna hit your plug. Unless your plug is sticking in 5mm, which it's not on the LRP 32s, you don't have any worry about the piston hitting that. So, anyway, check out these. These are the diff towers for the Muggy, the XTM. Got bearings in it. These things are, man, this whole center deal, this top plate, it's got bearings in it too. 7075 aluminum, machined anodized aluminum. This whole setup with these steel gears, I spent almost $200 on this. So, I don't know. Maybe I might try to find a 2-speed. Maybe I would have to replace the one-way bearing and then find a 2-speed clutch bell. If anybody knows where you found or seen, let the Muggy know. Comment below where you seen a 2-speed, the 2-speed clutch bells, but it has to be 12-17 pinion, because that's the stock gearing. I don't want to change the gearing on it. Okay, if you do, let me know. I think Kyosho makes one close. They make like a 13-18 or something like that. But anyway, if you guys see one, let the Muggy know. Comment below. Another thing I wanted to ask you guys real quick, and I know I mentioned it in my one of my last videos, that my uncle gave me this really cool old, I think it's from World War II. Maybe I just need to take it to a knife place. If anybody knows what this is, now if you look at the marking on it, the side, it almost looks like a kind of a German emblem on it. I don't even know what that is. That emblem right there. Oh, I think it's turned the wrong way. So maybe it has like wings on it. I don't know what that is, but anyways, this thing's real wood. It was really rusty. I cleaned it up, but I know if you look on the blade, it says, I can barely read it, but it says Eugen something, Germany. So it is German. This is made in Germany. It's some kind of army knife. It looks pretty old. I don't know. Maybe World War II. Shoot, I don't know. If anybody knows what this is, maybe I need to take it to a knife place and they'll tell me. I just want to know, you know, how old it is. It looks really old, man. World War II. So anyway, all right, that's all I got, people. So let's see I'll see if I can get you a video later on this week. More than likely, I'll be running this. Hopefully, I don't know when, that I can get you some footage of the wetlands. Because, you know, we're getting to the wetlands. It's just a matter of when, you know. My buddy's real busy. You know, I don't really want to go by myself because I can't film. Right? I want to bring you guys some good footage. That's why, because a lot of people say, well, why don't you just go? Well, what, go and set it down someplace? I mean, I want to give you guys some decent footage, and if I know with this new camera phone, my new phone, the camera looks pretty decent, and somebody filming, we'll be able to give you guys some good footage, you know, of me ripping my shit. And I still am. I'm going to take both the Mugens when I go out there. I'm going to take the NBX5. We're going to rip this thing. So I'm going to get two vehicles dirty as hell. I won't usually do that, but on this occasion, because I want to make sure that maybe I do get a little bit too rough with this, and something happens or whatever. God forbid that anything happens to my whips, because these are my babies. I don't want nothing happening to my babies. Look at that. RCR modded 28.8 next level Rex Legend. Bam! I swear, man, if you guys get one of these, buy one of these, send it to Lance, you will not be sorry. You've seen it, and it's going to get even badder-asser. Is that a word? That's not a word, huh? Badder-asser? It's going to get even busier. It already did. That body's looking pretty sick. Oh, by the way, shout out to, the normal guys that are doing all the, my buddies that are, I talked to Gearhead Addict, shout out to him. We rap about brap every night. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to be talking to him later. I gave him a call, but I think he was busy. He's sending like 5 or 6 motors to Lance. He's getting some shit. That's what I'm talking about. So shout out to you, Gearhead Addict, by, taking your brapping, your 8-scale nitro to another level. He's not just getting 1 motor modded. He's getting like 4 or 5 modded. I'm going to send Lance another 3, just not right now. I'm going to focus on these ones. Even though this 3 motors that I got modified this time, the only one I really had to break in is the 28.8. And that's why I want to continue to run this thing. I want to try to get at least another gallon through this thing. Okay? So we're going to wrap it some more. The other ones, the LRP32, it's been broken in. It's I don't have to do much with that. And the same thing with the OS. The OS is good. I think I'm going to save this OS. It's a pretty nasty motor. I like it, but like I said, if I was to choose a modified OS and this Reds, even Lance said, he goes, yeah, it's kind of hard to compare because that OS you have is like their base model. This is their budget OS. He says, now if you send me a Drake or you send me one of their Speedworks whatever motors, their high-end OSs, and I modify that, oh yeah, it'll be pretty nasty. He said, but still, he said, you got to get one of my Triton motors, man. He keeps trying to talk me into those. So we'll see. Maybe I don't really, like I said, I don't want to get too many. I might get one more .21, 1 or 2, and then I have enough. 4 or 5 .21s modified is enough for me. I don't need a lot of them. And those, are just for, buggies mostly. Although I probably could run them in my truckies. But anyway, so that's all I got. So yeah, shout out to Gearhead Addict. Shout out to 1/5 RC. He's getting ready to break in that Rex Legend 28.8 on his sick ass MBX8. He has a really nice. Go check out his channel. Give him some subs. Give him some love. Gearhead Addict, same thing. Give him some love. Give him some subs. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Doesn't matter what you give him. Thumbs up or thumbs down, because it's all good on that. So anyway, shout out to also. I haven't heard from Just Joe in a while, and I haven't. Well, not a while, but Audrey Perez, I know he's waiting for that damn glue. That picture glue comes from Canada, and that guy that sends it, that guy takes forever, man. I remember it now that I had that, waiting for that glue, man. So he's still waiting for his picture glue to get there so he can send me his body so I can start work on his next level customized Scarface, which is going to be pretty sick. I'm pretty excited about that. And I know 1/5 mentioned he might send me something. I don't know what he wants to get done on a body. So yeah, so if anybody wants a body done, contact me, kurtahernandez@gmail.com, or you can Facebook me, Kurt Hernandez. Do me the friend, wave the hand thing, and I'll, connect with you, and, we'll go from there. There is a fee, but I think I'm pretty reasonable. Yeah, so if anybody's interested, let me know. But anyway, that's all I got. I will see you guys on the next round. You'll probably be watching this video. When you guys watch this, it'll probably be Wednesday morning sometime. But anyway, we'll catch you guys later on in the week. And let me know. Well, obviously, you guys will let me know if if this video is a better quality. I don't know. It's kind of, I can't tell until I go to upload it. Hopefully it doesn't take as long either. I've got more memory in this phone now too, a lot more memory. That was the issue I had with my old phone. It just took like days literally to upload it. So anyway, I love this thing, man. Look on eBay. They have these little stands, these little tool stands. They're like $10, man. You got to put it together, yes, but they're killer. I love this thing, man. It's my little tool caddy. So anyway, that's all I got, and I will catch you guys. I might fire this thing up tonight. I told my mom, because she's coming Thursday to pick it up, she goes, that's okay. I said, I want to break it in and test it for you, Mom. Alright, people, that's all I got. And remember, no matter what happens in your day, even if you didn't get the results that you were looking for, at the end of the day, as long as you learned something, you got ahead. Okay? Do whatever makes you happy, whatever floats your boat, you know. It's your channel, your money, your whips. Do whatever you want, okay? But at the same time, too, keep it real, people. Keep it 100% real. Because, you know, the muggy always keeps it real. So anyway, that's all I got. Did I miss any other shout-outs? No, I think those are the normal shout-outs. Elite RC, haven't heard from him in a while. I gave him my new phone number. I mean, he's busy a lot, so drag racing and all that stuff, and I know he's got some projects going on. And he's getting ready to do some other projects in the wintertime anyway. But anyway, shout out to those guys. Doing a good job. All my new subscribers, if I haven't subscribed to you, please hit me up and let me know, because, you know, I will subscribe to you. If you subscribe to me, I'll subscribe to you. No problem. Alright, people, so that's all the Muggy Maniacs got. And remember, when you're not running your stuff, make sure your piston is bottom dead center and you got some of that muggy juice in there, okay? Don't go leaving your stuff up inside of your shit, excuse my language, and jacking it up, okay? Oh, and by the way, to all my brothers out there, the guys that I usually give shout-outs, my Nitro brothers that I talk to, the guy that did this for me, he's going to give me a deal on a bunch of these. So I'm thinking maybe for Christmas, just because that's the kind of guy I am, I'll exchange and get your guys' addresses. I'm going to give all of my, probably the 6 or however many guys that are my personal friends, I'm going to give you guys one of these. Depending, now don't quote me on this, I'm going to try my hardest, but I want to give you guys one of these. Every true gearhead, nitro head, brap head needs one of these. This thing, I love this thing. You know, it's got the universal deal. This whole piece comes out. But just the handle, man. You got to have one of these in your cave. Your cave isn't a real man's cave, okay? Until you got the driver with the flames on it. Anyway, that's all I got, people. Catch you guys later. Peace.